Hey, and welcome to another episode of Halloween Horror Thon. So, like I said, these are all pre-recorded, so this is still September. But I just got back from seeing It Chapter 2. And first and foremost, that movie is a comedy. I don't mean that ironically or like, oh, it was a joke. It's a comedy. I mean, they had Bill Hader and, some other people who I didn't immediately recognize. But, yeah, it was a horror movie, of course. But, just imagine the original It Part 2 and then just way the hell funnier. Because that's pretty much exactly what you got. But, for those unfamiliar with the plot, it takes place 27 years after the incident of the first movie. Everyone's moved on, left Derry, and they have their own lives now. All pretty successful, for the most part. And they get called by their friend who stayed in Derry to, hey, you gotta come back, we gotta figure it out. Of course, they don't know what they're coming back for. This, remember, they promised to come back. So everyone comes back, and then their memories start coming back to them. Next thing you know, they all remember, wait a second, there's a murder clown here. This isn't a great situation. And then they go through the whole, hey, there needs to be this ritual type thing of Chud, and we all have to get a token to sacrifice, and we should split up. Notably, a lot of people in the group are like, hey, we shouldn't split up, that's stupid. And then immediately that's brushed off. So they split up, everyone has their own kind of terrifying experience, which is honestly filled with a lot of comedy. For instance, the female character, she, in the original movie, she goes back to where her abusive father was. The house is still there, except for there's this nice older woman living there. And then that woman ends up being Pennywise. It's really terrifying, and she runs out. And when she turns around, the building's condemned. Like, oh, you were getting tricked on the whole time. The same thing happens in this movie. Identical thing. Just way funnier. Like, the old woman's, skittering around, wearing no clothes, or doing weird, crumpy movements. And then she comes out as a big monster. It's like, I'm gonna get you. And that's the scary part. But, before that, it just feels like it's just reeking of comedy. And the whole movie takes that tone, where it's like they really break up the jump scares with really funny scenes, really, snappy one-liners, which, probably wouldn't have really happened in the 80s, 90s. Like, for instance, there's this asshole kid in the first movie who had, a mullet, and he's a real dick. And he ends up in, an insane asylum as an adult. He comes out and tries to kill him. And they stab the guy, and they're like, cut your effing mullet. It's been 30 years, all sorts of stuff like that. But anyway, long story short, they go down. The infamous bug monster that they fought in the original It Chapter 2, that's more realized now. It's still a creepy bug monster, but it has the body and head of Pennywise, which is cool. I think that was a really cool decision. But yeah, pretty much we stop the bad guy. Everyone lives happily ever after. Except for one of the loser squad. Well, two of the loser squad definitely gets iced. But it's all right. It's really funny. I give it that. Not really what I expected. I thought it'd be a lot scarier. But still, it's a good movie. Really good production, and that even though it shouldn't probably be a comedy first and foremost, the jokes actually landed really well. So yeah, I recommend it, especially if you watch the first one. Let's go ahead and wrap up the story. Anyway, that's gonna do it today, guys. Thanks. Take it easy. Thanks for joining me for Halloween Horror Thon. We're gonna be doing these every day this month. I love October. Go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment, talk about the movie. I kind of liked it, but maybe you hated it. So throw some comments down there, and hey, take it easy.